Welcome to Midnights with the Lizard Wizard, a podcast where Yael Midnight and I, Noel Midnight, listen through the entire King Gizzard discography from start to finish. This week, we're listening to the band's first LP, 12 Bar Bruise. Theme music recorded by Beautiful Trainwreck. And we're back.
So back, baby.
All right, this week we are looking at the first LP from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. It's called 12 Bar Bruise. Do we need to do anything else up top, or do we get to jump right into it?
I think this time we actually get to just jump straight in.
Let's do it. So, overall, I want to know your overall thoughts without diving too deep into anything. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
We finally got one that I can just unapologetically say, yeah, this fucking rocks.
Okay, cool. So you're probably more enthusiastic about it than I am.
Really?
This one, there are tracks that I really like, but as a whole, I'm not sure it quite worked for me.
Interesting. There were like 1.5 tracks that I was a little bit less into, but overall, I'm gonna be coming back to this album in the future.
So there are a few things I noticed about this one that make it really interesting. The first is that it's the first time we've worked with a producer other than the band itself. We've got Paul Mayberry producing. I looked him up online. I don't think he's done a whole lot besides KGLW.
But you know what? He doesn't need to, because this is a better produced record than when they were doing their own stuff.
Yeah, and it's still doing a lot of vocalizations. It's still a little light on lyrics at times, but we do have real lyrics this time.
Yeah, that's something that, as we've talked about before, I listen to vocals first. I'm listening to lyrics, and I think it really helped me get into this record that they were saying things, that there was really thought into the lyrics, that there was thought into what the songs were about and how the message of the lyrics flowed from song to song. This was good writing.
So you're saying that this feels like an LP.
Yeah, it feels like an album.
Yeah. Which is good because this is an LP. They did release this one on vinyl, and it peaked at number 14 on the ARIA albums chart, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for them. What, at this point, 13 years after they released this record, so what good is me being happy for them?
Right.
They've long since outgrown 12 Bar Bruise, as far as I can tell. But this
they
is
still
good.
revisit these songs live. Like some of these songs are still super active in their live sets.
This is.
I
good
mean, maybe
music.
not recently with the rave and orchestral stuff, but I don't know. I haven't been looking at set lists.
Yeah, and we're not allowed to listen to that music yet. So we're, what y'all are hearing them doing right now, we are not.
We just, last night was the Melbourne rave show, and dear God, I wish I could have tuned in for that, but we're not allowed to.
Yeah, we're getting really frustrated as we're listening to more and more of this music in our very, very slow, orderly fashion, but also looking up more about this band and being a little bit more engaged with what they're doing online. And I'll tell you what, it really sucks when your algorithm starts to fill with King Gizzard content and your algorithm doesn't know that you're not going to be able to click on those links for 5 years.
Yeah, it's great. As far as this record is concerned, though, I found that I really liked it a lot better when I was just vibing with it versus trying to analyze it.
Really?
But I do recognize that doesn't make for great commentary now, does it?
No, in order to actually talk about this record or any music that we're going to be listening to, we are going to have to actually actively listen. We're going to have to dive in and see what we think about the production, see what we think about the lyrics, see what we think about the music.
Yeah, and I'll say the production this time, it feels a lot bigger. It feels a lot more complete. There's a lot more layering. There's a lot more
And it feels more experimental, too.
Yeah, and there's more ear candy. There's more interesting stuff going on, and I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, so do you want to talk more about why it wasn't so much for you, or do you want to just dive in into the music?
Let's dive in. I think we'll get into it as we talk about the tracks. We can start with Elbow, which has been in my head all goddamn day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the track that sticks with you for today.
All morning I have had the lyrics. Oh God, now I'm going to forget the lyrics.
You have some editing to do.
You cunt, you know me better than to bend my elbow back.
Yeah, okay, that
All
does
morning,
sound, that does sound like a lyric that would get caught in your head.
Which I think is really fun because I'm pretty sure it's the first time we've heard a profanity.
Oh, come on.
From
the word
KGLW?
cunt is not a profanity in Australia.
That's what I'm saying. It's so apt that they start out with cunt. Like,
this is such an Australian record, and we'll get to that.
Yes, we will, especially when we get to the final track, but we're not there yet. We're talking about Elbow.
We are talking about Elbow. I shouldn't get ahead of myself.
I love how much feedback is in this track. I love how, like, raw and energetic this is. This still fucks in a small club.
Yeah, no, this track just fucks. Small club, big venue, singing it in your living room with your earbuds in. This track fucks. It has a great bass line. It's got actual lyrics. You've got cool vocal layering with hey, hey, heys. You can rock out to this song.
So I want to talk to you about the lyrics a little bit because it touches on themes that I think you recognized in the last EP. And I want to know if you think that carried over or if this is something new entirely. But for my read, this felt like somebody getting angry at a parent or an authority figure for aggressively disciplining them.
It's clearly about somebody that they don't like. I don't know who that is. I don't think that I got vibes that it was a parent like it was on Willoughby's Beach. Mm-hmm. And so I should say this. Both of us have done a little bit more work in reading about the history of each track than we have on Willoughby's Beach or Anglesey. Because this time around, we have discovered KGLW.net. That's right. Look at me getting all tongue-tied over these four letters that I say constantly in my life these days. And on that website, fans have cataloged everything that this band has ever said about any of these tracks, any time that they've performed them, and we are not reading that the first time we hear this album, but we are reading that now in preparation to talk about this music.
And we're going deep on Genius. We're going deep on Wikipedia. So you're going to hear some information from us that if you were looking for it online, you could get pretty easily. But we're hoping to save you some of that work and some of that research. So we're just going to be summarizing.
There are a lot of links I'm clicking on.
There are a lot of links we're clicking on. Like, there's so much information on the internet that I know we are missing a ton of shit about this band. Like, I am confident we're missing entire music videos. We're missing songs. We're missing, live stuff that maybe we should be allowed to watch at this point. I don't know what we're missing because there's just so goddamn much of it.
And we're doing the best we can, but of course we're uncovering all of this as we go. So please do write into the show if you're like, okay, I know you're about to miss this really cool thing, or you did miss this really cool thing. We'll take a look. We'll take a listen.
Yeah, if we miss something, we'll go back and we'll revisit it on the Patreon. Absolutely.
Because y'all know more about what's
Patreon
coming up than we know. But back to Elbow, this is clearly about somebody that they do not like. Who that is, I don't know. Do I know for sure that it's a parent? I don't. What I thought at first was that this was a song about drinking, because bend the elbow sounds to me like a metaphor for drinking.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. You're bending the elbow. You're bending the elbow to pour a beer back.
Okay.
Yeah, have you not heard that before?
No, absolutely not.
Well, so that's something I've heard, but that is not something I saw online when looking this up. And apparently the Bended Elbow is a club in, I think, the Melbourne area. Or a bar, a venue. And so the belief is that whoever this song is about has something perhaps to do with that venue, or did at the time. But that's unconfirmed. That's not clear.
Sure.
And all that Stu McKenzie has said about it is, if you know us really well, you'll probably be able to figure out who this is.
Right.
So I don't know them that well. I can't figure out who it is. But this is a song that is about somebody that they don't like. It's an intense song. It evolves. It's not as repetitive as anything from Anglesey or Willoughby's Beach. And it fucking rocks. It's so good. This is when I knew I was in for a treat, because I got everything that I wanted from Anglesey and Willoughby's Beach grown up. I got it with real songwriting and good production and a fucking mission.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the theme of this record is we're seeing the maturity that comes from finally putting out the first LP. Want to move on to Muckraker?
No,
No.
because I've got one more thing to say about Elbow. So there is a lyric, "You want," that's echoed, "You want." And it has the exact same cadence and the exact same little tone as Chapel Roan in Red Wine Supernova going, I like what you like, what you like. And I cannot get it out of my head.
That does count as Yael singing That's a Drink.
Yes, absolutely. I cannot listen to Elbow without hearing Chapel Roan. And that's
wild
a
to me.
personal problem. I'm well aware.
That's wild to me.
That is a personal issue. But the other day, when I was doing a listen of this album, like a minute into the first song on the album, Noel turns to me because he hears my music through my earbuds and says, "Are you listening to Hot to Go?" And I go, "Yeah." Because I didn't remember which Chapel Roan song it was that had that line. So I first tried Hot to Go, and that wasn't it. And then I tried Red Wine Supernova, and it was. Noel looks at me like I'm crazy because you knew that I was trying to listen to this album again.
I've given up. I've given up on trying to understand you. I know that you're just going to draw these mental links that don't make any sense like you did with the Rolling Goddamn Stones.
No, that one doesn't. That one makes sense. The name of the track is exactly the same.
Sure. Absolutely. So Muckraker. The first thing I noted about Muckraker is that they have those big woo-woo-woos in it, and they hit that falsetto, which I'm a sucker for a falsetto.
Yeah, and they do actually use some falsetto really cool later in the album. This one was a little bit weirder. This one with the echoey vocals.
I like the tempo changes.
And there were so many tempo changes, and this is the first time we got not just slowing a song down midway through, but also increasing tempo, decreasing tempo, increasing it again, decreasing it again. We had tempos all over the place. It kind of felt almost like they put 3 or 4 different song scraps together. And I don't think they did. I think they just wrote it this way. But, you know, it's all over the place. It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It makes it really dynamic. I really like the guitar line at the end underneath Muckraker when they just saying Muckraker. There's a really cool guitar line at the end that I really liked.
Yes.
But the main thing that I latched onto with this song is that there's one moment in it where I just want that line to end and then I go, Johnny Be Good.
Okay, so this is the first time you're hearing a parallel to a song that really, let's be honest, I should be the one that knows. And I do know that song. I am so goddamn annoyed about my own Chuck Berry stories because I've got a Chuck Berry story and it drives me crazy because I'm a fucking idiot. I had a chance to go see him when I lived in St. Louis and I never did, and then he died. R.I.P. R.I.P. Chuck Berry. Yeah, no, I did not hear Johnny Be Good.
Okay.
I'm going to have to listen to this again and try to hear Johnny Be Good in it.
I'll point it out to you.
Please do. And you're going to have to listen to Elbow and see if you can hear Chapel Roan.
I'm absolutely not doing that.
Why not?
So do you know what a muckraker is?
I do, yes. My dad's a journalist.
Okay. So I had to learn what a muckraker was for this song, and apparently it's someone who like looks for corruption.
Yeah, a muckraker is a kind of journalist who's trying to expose corruption or bad behavior of some kind.
Okay, so I don't see how that connects to the lyrics of this song at all. As far as I can tell, this song is about raking up the muck that you're responsible for in life, not necessarily about a muckraker in the searching for corruption sense, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I learned a new word, and it turns out that word doesn't matter at all. You hear him talk about pissing shit off porcelain.
Oh, come on, Noel. It's not a problem for you to learn a new word. You could stand to learn a new word or two.
I could stand to learn a new word or two. It's true. I have a very tiny vocabulary. I couldn't even come up with a second word.
Vocabulary, that's a big word for you. I love you so much.
But no, he talks about pissing shit off porcelain, which again feels like raking up the muck that you're responsible for.
We're going to learn so many Australianisms through this podcast, I'm thinking, because I don't know if that's an actual phrase, an actual turn of phrase, but it sounds like something they would say in Australia.
And I'm definitely going to start saying it. Like, I no longer clean up the living room. I piss shit off porcelain.
I would rather you clean up the living room.
On Genius, there was a note where they say that the song is just about being a shit kicker.
Yeah.
Which, cool. Yeah. Sure. Love
you're
it.
Kicking up shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved the layered vocals, the way the whole band comes in. It's cool. The first time I heard it, I didn't love it.
Okay.
But on repeated listens, it really grew on me. And you know what really, really helped me go, I like this song a lot? When I watched the music video. You want to know why?
Let's talk about the video.
Because there's a great, fucking adorable good boy of an Australian shepherd in that video. Apparently, it's
I didn't even make a note
Stu
of that.
Mackenzie's dog, Dipper. And Dipper's a good boy.
Presumably, Dipper's a good boy because they're all good boys.
Yeah.
I liked this video. I thought this was a really informative video. You get to see them playing with that really shitty little crate amp that, obviously works for their purposes, but it's one of those things that you'd find for $50 at the pawn shop.
And they're down by a river, just like goofing off and like throwing each other into the water. And Ambrose Kenny Smith gets progressively like further and further out into the water,
which we love.
And they're just, they're dumb fucking kids is just being a fucking band shooting their music video and having a grand old time. And then they go golfing at one point.
Yeah. So the thing that really grabbed me about the video was we got to see a little bit more of what the instrumentation for the track is. We got to see that there is like a little synth in there. There's an acoustic guitar. I hadn't realized that there was an acoustic guitar on this track, but there is.
Hear the acoustic guitar,
They've got the theremin. They've got the theremin going.
It's so weird to see a theremin in a music video.
Right. There's a sitar-looking instrument, like a stringed, fretted, bull-bodied instrument that I didn't quite recognize.
I didn't recognize anything as a sitar, but so I don't think there was a sitar, but I can't. There was
some instrument there that I just didn't recognize.
But we probably will get sitar, I think, in a couple of records, because we've got a record that I've got labeled as Raga Rock on my spreadsheet. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I also noticed that in the video there is someone playing a whistle at one point, but I think that's just them fucking around. I'm not sure the whistle's on the track.
Yeah, that is part of the thing, is it did seem like frequently the video was mismatched with the audio in terms of whatever it was that they were playing is not what they were playing at the time.
One thing I did notice was the theremin. The theremin is making a lot of the sounds that I had initially chalked up to being like pick scratches on the guitar.
Yes. They're using a theremin so differently from how I've seen theremins used before, and it works.
It must be going through an overdrive or something. They've got that thing filtered to hell.
And it's so cool, and it works. And now it has me thinking, okay, I don't know where the rest of the theremin is on this album.
But it's clearly working.
But it's working, but they're hiding it in places that are apparently in plain sight. Last thing I want to mention about the music video, you might have more, is the music video was shot and edited in part by a guy named Jason Galea or Galea. I don't know how to pronounce the name, I'll be honest. And that's important because Jason Galea is also the graphic designer, the artist responsible for all of the King Gizzard album covers, starting with 12 Bar Bruise.
So that's really cool because when we started this show, the first thing that we did was we took a bunch of the album covers, especially from the live albums, and we sent them to a graphic artist and we said, hey, make us something that looks like this. And they came back and they gave us the art that we currently have for the show. They gave us another piece of art as well that I haven't figured out what to do with it yet.
We'll probably use it for like a Patreon bonus feed or something.
Yeah,
we'll do something with it because it's also really good.
So it's really cool to finally have an introduction to this artist that I love the visual work of this artist so much.
Oh, yeah. It's such a unique and clear style. And as we'll get to future live records, it's also pretty cool that when you look through it, you see, okay, they're taking inspiration from Las Vegas for the album cover for their live shows in Las Vegas. And they're taking symbols from various cities around the world and various locations that they're playing in, and they're folding that into the album art. It's really, really well done. It's really cool. And I'm really happy to say that I think our artist did a really good job in creating this art for the podcast. And it's really nice to see that the band considers their artist, their visual artist, as an integral part of the band. So
right.
That's really wonderful to see. And I wanted to take a moment to shout out Jason Galea. And if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I am truly sorry about that. Get a name that's easier to pronounce.
Wow.
Look,
that might be the most offensive thing you've said on this show. I think finally, instead of Stu McKenzie getting canceled, it's you.
Hey, I can come by that honestly. Nobody knows how to pronounce my name.
That's true. Let's talk about 9.
9. No,
Nine.
We will not. Okay, thanks, Herman Cain.
I don't know that reference.
Yeah, neither will any Australian listeners. So the song 9.
We don't have Australian listeners.
Yeah, but King Gizzard does. And one day Stu McKenzie will be listening to our podcasts, and Amby will be listening to our podcast, and Cook Crag will be listening to our podcast.
And they're going to get so mad at everything we've gotten wrong.
Oh, yeah. They're going to get mad at us for so many reasons, like how I keep canceling them.
So 9.
Okay, so 9 is good. We're back to that driving guitar of Elbow, of Willoughby's Beach.
Loved that guitar opening.
I knew you would. I absolutely knew you would. We've got that fun slowdown 2/3 of the way through. I love that they're playing with tempo. Every time they play with tempo, I like the song. Like, that's something I'm discovering is every time they fuck around with the tempo, that's a track I end up digging. I think there's more theremin on this song.
There's a synth line that goes wild.
There is. It's so cool. What do you think the song is about?
I don't think I was able to work that out.
So this song is about wanting to quit drinking.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Sorry, I just don't have the lyrics up in front of me.
Yeah, like, shit, I'm never doing that again. Yeah, I've said that too, buddy. We've all said, yeah, I'm not drinking again.
I mean, I haven't.
Okay, well, you don't drink.
I'm responsible when I drink.
You are. You don't drink very much. I used to. I used to drink more than I do now. I am glad to say that I think I've got it a little bit more under control these days. But I've had my moments where I've said, shit, I'm not doing that again. So that felt quite quite personal. That felt very relatable to me.
Yeah. One thing that really stood out for this track for me was the vocal spring reverb at the end.
Yes.
Where they're using it basically to serve the same purpose as like a fast delay.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a different vibe from that. It serves the same purpose, but it feels different. And I really, really like that. And I really like the slowdown as we got into that final verse as well.
Yeah, they do such cool stuff with the vocal production on this album, with the way that they layer their vocals and the way that they apply their effects to their vocals and not just to the guitars and basses and the instruments.
Right. And that speaks to a lot more of their production mindedness, where we're seeing more of that post-processing, or perhaps they're doing it in real time, but we're seeing a little bit more like thought given towards mixing and creating a coherent soundscape instead of just here's some guitars with tones on them.
Yeah, and in the last 2 EPs, we've gotten a lot of noise and we've gotten a lot of effects, but now those effects are more focused. Now they're there, and they're there for a reason. They're there for a particular reason.
Right.
It's so good.
So I really like this one. I like that there was a video for this one. Did you see that video?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so this was shot in Stu's shed. It's another performance video. It's a bit more psychedelic than what we've seen before, I think. They've got like projection being blasted onto them. There's some really fun lighting stuff going on. The big complaint I had with the video, though, is that it doesn't show the synth.
And I always want to see the synth.
They've got this big fucking synth line, and they don't show it. And it's maddening.
I always want to see the synth. And Stu, if you need to borrow a synth, I've got one for you.
I'm very confident the Stu does not need to borrow a synth.
No, and his is definitely better than mine.
Yeah, I've seen that Euro rack.
I'm so excited for when they get to Euro rack stuff.
Oh, I'm so excited. Move on to 12 bar?
Okay.
Title
track, 12 Bar Bruise. The first time I heard this song, the only thing I could think about is this isn't a 12-bar blues.
No, it is not.
It's not a 12-bar
I
blues.
put in my notes verbatim, this is not the 12-bar blues, which is gonna upset Yael.
And it does. It did, and it does. It's not a 12-bar blues. And all I said in our last episode was that looking forward to this one, looking forward to 12-bar Bruise, all I wanted was for 12-bar Bruise to be a goddamn 12-bar blues. And it's not.
We get that later in the album, but we don't get it here.
Yeah, we do get a 12-bar blues later in the album. I give them credit for that. And you know what? I love me a 12-bar blues. I'm so happy that we get that later, but we don't get it here. And we get something bluesy. It is bluesy. We've got a lot of 1/4, we got a lot of 5, we got some bluesy harmonica, we got some bluesy guitar. It's a good song, but I had to wait until the second time I heard it to go, it's a good song, because the first time I heard it, I was
you were distracted.
We're staying on the 1 too long.
Yeah, you were distracted.
For those of you who aren't music theory nerds like I am, I apologize. I'm going to do this again and again, so, learn your music theory.
Yeah. So the big thing about this track is that this is the one that was recorded with 4 iPhones in the room, with Stu holding one of the iPhones and using that as his mic. So the whole song is kind of lo-fi, which I think it benefits from because he's up in his falsetto. It creates this really weird, like, spacey vibe to it. I like it. I think it's doing
and
cool
you know
stuff.
what? He's got a good falsetto, and I think that the way that it was recorded fits well with the song. And it's maybe a little off-putting at first, but when you listen to it, like, no,
it
really
coheres with
needs
the album.
It really needs to be this way. It makes sense that it's sung this way. It makes sense that it's recorded this way. It fits. We got a little bit washed out, staticky sounds. We got the bluesy guitar. We got a falsetto. We've got some cool turnarounds. Like, it's a good track.
Yeah. And as we are thinking about what we want to record as our music sting at the beginning of the episode, the one thing that stood out to me is there's a guitar lead in the bridge of this song that's really cool, and it's got a really cool supporting bass line. And so all I can think is it would be really fun to see if we can capture that for the sting at the beginning of the episode.
And so you'll have already known by now whether or not we were able to capture that and whether or not we even chose to try that, because we don't know that yet. We haven't recorded that yet.
Yeah, but it's fun. That's the thing we haven't talked about yet, is that every episode we are recording our own little sting at the beginning, in between the introduction and the actual show. Just a quick little hit to say, here's the show. The show is starting.
And we're choosing to not write things. We're choosing to record things that are inspired by the album that we've listened to that
Inspired by, plagiarized from.
I mean, good artists borrow and great artists steal outright, and acceptable podcasters just
plagiarize.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how I do research.
I'm well aware. I know what your mom taught you.
One thing I love about 12-Bar Bruise is that this holds on to the same lyrical theme from our previous song, because this is a song about getting drunk and then not being able to get it up.
Yeah, I like that we have 2 songs in a row about the horrors of being an alcoholic. This is a song about whiskey dick. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever had whiskey dick, start taking estrogen, because you'll have another reason to complain about not being able to get an erection.
Or you can do what I did and just chop the whole thing off.
And you know what? Noelle doesn't get erections anymore.
No, I don't, and it's great. I love it.
I kind of miss it.
So, like, it seems like the thesis of this song is all of my friends are horny, but I'm unable to perform, which I cannot relate to, but I'm sure many of you can.
Noelle, you can absolutely relate to all of your friends being horny and you not being able to perform.
Yeah, because that's my default vibe.
You are a often not horny trans woman who hangs out with exclusively horny trans women.
Yeah, and I'm constantly having to fend you people off.
Yeah, because you're really hot.
I don't need to get laid that much.
But you can.
I could.
Well,
besides the point. Garage Lydiard. Garage Lydiard. Or garage? Do they pronounce it garage in Australia? Is that right?
Okay, I don't know what Australians think about anything, and I'm not sure that they have an understanding of the English language, so I think we can call it garage, because that's what I say.
So this song is named after the leader of the band The Drones, Gareth Lydiard, and that's all I have to say about the title. I don't know why that's important, but it's a thing.
Well, it's not about him in any way, and as far as they knew, at least at the time of one particular interview, some time after they had released the song, they weren't sure if Gareth Lydiard had ever actually heard the song. It has nothing to do with him, and they just thought it would be pretty funny to name the song after him. But I thought it was really amusing that they would name the song after a guy and think that, yeah, he probably hasn't heard it. Because I have a bone to pick about not listening to music that somebody wants you to listen to. And that's that when I first started...
Oh, fuck off.
When I first started dating Noelle, I asked Noelle out by sending her a song called I Wanna Be Your Girlfriend.
So I did the reasonable thing, and I looked up to the lyrics to the song so that I could be sure that I was interpreting the signal correctly.
And then it took you 3 months until I found out that you had not actually heard the song, and I forced you to listen to it. And you know what? You liked the song.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's a good album. If you get around to it, Ezra Furman's 12 Nudes is a great record.
It really is. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that.
I especially recommend it if you like bands like Pup or Jeff Rosenstock. It's by far Ezra Furman's loudest, noisiest record, and it's just a blast.
If you like loud, noisy punk with trans and Jewish and social justice themes, you'll love 12 Nudes. Garage Lydiard. Okay. Name out of the way. What did you think?
It seems like it's another song about being drunk, probably. It certainly alludes to surf rock here and there. It's a big driving punk track. And notably, we get the fucking harmonica.
Oh my God, the harmonica solo on this track.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's maybe the highlight of the album for me, this harmonica solo.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm enjoying everything that this band is doing. I'm liking this song. I think that everybody in this band contributes. But I think I am going to be an Ambi super fan because I know that he doesn't just stay on harmonica for every album, and that based on the genres that these other albums are in, it wouldn't make sense for him to just be playing harmonica on all these albums. But you know what? He's a fucking phenom on the harmonica.
It's
and
so much
every
fun.
time it comes through on this album, I want to live inside that harmonica tone.
So one of the things that I really noticed about this song is that on Genius there was a note from the band saying that it started out as a slower, groovier, like twist and shouty type song. But then it says Paul suggested they play the song as fast and ferociously as they could, and they ended up using that version, which is what we have now. And so I thought about it. Okay, is this a song that like matches the twist and shout thought? And yeah, it kind of is. Like it is that, but it's fast and it's fun. It's not boring bullshit.
So
a lot of that music is.
So let's take all of the songs that we're ever going to make and just bump them up to 400 BPM, and now we're playing German techno.
So so the thing is, most of the songs that I write are about 120 BPM in the key of C. And I recognize that makes me as basic as fucking possible. So I think that we should do the right thing and just up them all to 123.
This has been a problem. Noelle has been working on this song that he wrote for 2 years now. And every time we sit down to work on this song together, we mess around with it a little bit. We try to figure it out. And sometimes we play it in a different key, or sometimes you try to play it in a different tempo. And Noelle always goes, I don't like that. You should speed that up, or you should slow that down. And the only time that Noelle doesn't say that is when I'm at exactly 120.
Which is, by the way, the default tempo in Logic.
The key of C, 120 BPM in 4/4. You don't know how to write anything else, and I love you so much. And this is actually a really good song that you've written. But can you be a little bit less basic?
I really don't know that I can.
Just listen to Garage Lydiard. Just do it. We can get that little bit more drive.
Now, if you want something that's completely different, what if instead of listening to Garage Lydiard, I listen to Sam Cherry's Last Shot?
Well, it's probably not going to work with the love song you wrote.
Okay, what if I add a giant narrated section to my love song?
I'm in. What if you get your dad to narrate it for you?
That's not happening.
Okay, Sam Cherry's Last Shot is so different from everything else on the album.
It's the weirdo track on the record.
It's one of two weirdo tracks on the record.
It's the track that when you're listening to the record sonically stands out as, oh, this is something I haven't heard before. So this is interesting.
So tell us what Sam Cherry's Last Shot is all about.
So it features dialogue from an 1880s book called Our Wild Indians, 33 Years Personal Experience Among the Red Men of the Great West.
A popular account of their social life, religion, habits, traits, customs, exploits, etc., with thrilling adventures and experiences on the Great Plains and in the mountains of our wide frontier, by Richard Irving Dodge.
Read, narrated by Broderick Smith, who is Amby's father. And the cool thing is that we will get to see Broderick Smith again on the next record that we cover. So in 2 weeks, when you come back, we're going to get a lot more from Broderick Smith as he narrates our next record.
So Broderick Smith was a member of other bands before he was narrating for King Gizzard. He is a musician in his own right. Mm-hmm. And he narrates this Western...
Spaghetti
Western track here. It's a track that's straight out of like an Ennio Morricone
soundtrack, yeah.
Soundtrack. And it's over train sounds and horse sounds, and apparently it was originally an instrumental.
Yeah, which I definitely see it like that. They've performed it live as an instrumental before.
Right, and then Broderick Smith got involved, and he apparently knew about this book. So let me tell you a little bit about this book, because I don't know how much you read into it.
I didn't read a whole lot about it. The main thing that I took away was that there is part of the narration that isn't in the book, but we'll get to that.
Yes. So this book, Our Wild Indians, 33 Years, etc., was a memoir by Richard Irving Dodge, who was in the American military in the 19th century and fought in the Indian Wars, which were a series of wars fought by the U.S. government against Native perpetuating genocide. So Richard Irving Dodge, in the process of his time in the military, got to know all of these other military figures and got to experience life in the old American West and got to experience some interactions with Native Americans that were often quite violent. And he wrote about some of these interactions. And this particular passage that Broderick Smith narrates in Sam Cherry's Last Shot comes from the end of a chapter of this book that is about scalping, that is about, some of this very violent act that has contributed to the to this day demonization of Native Americans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's about a man, a colonel in the American Army named Sam Cherry, who had a run-in with a group of Native Americans and was and had his horse fall on him. And rather than slowly die, or rather than have the Native Americans he was fighting against kill him, he takes his life in his own hands. He kills himself. Right.
And what I think is really interesting is that the next paragraph after that wasn't from the book, but was added in by Broderick himself. And I'm going to read a little bit of that, which is, "But we're taking their land, and in return, they take our viscera and spread it across the desert plains." Which to me feels like a kind of a massive shrug, saying it is what it is. Like, it's sad, but it's fair. Like,
if we're going to take their lands, if we're going to be colonists, if we are going to perpetrate a genocide against these people, they're not going to let us do that without killing some of us.
They have a right to defend themselves, and they absolutely fucking should, and they shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
This is a massively political song. It is an anti-colonial song. From what I can understand, this theme will return, that King Gizzard is a very political band and that they will continue to be very anti-colonialism throughout their career. And it's so cool to see that, although I was not expecting to see that this early, and I was not expecting it to come in this fashion, especially after...
Or with this much depth.
Especially after the first 5 tracks on this record, which...
Right, this contrasts...
This is out of nowhere.
This contrasts pretty harshly against the idea of, oh, I got too drunk and I can't get it up.
Right. How are these on the same album? Apparently, when they decided to include narration on this track, they did not initially use this memoir. They initially were thinking about using Cormac McCarthy novel Blood Meridian.
Yes.
Which is also about violence in the American West, and is a famously complicated novel. But when Broderick Smith got involved, he recommended Our Wild Indians. And I'm kind of amazed. I don't know how this man, Broderick Smith, found this particular memoir. This is not a well-known book as far as I can tell.
I couldn't find a single place to purchase it online.
And the only copy that I've been able to find on the internet is an Internet Archive digitized copy that came from the University of California Library. So I truly have no idea how some rock musician in Australia had found this book, this obscure memoir from a 19th century American military officer, and he found the passage he wanted to read.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm so glad that I've learned about this. And I am very, very excited after Sam Cherry's Last Shot to hear this next record that we've got coming.
Right, because the next one's going to be building on a lot of these musical themes, at least. I don't know where it's going to go lyrically, but I know musically we're going to hear a lot more of these like wiggly, reverby guitars. We're going to hear a lot more from the harmonica. We're going to hear a lot more that is drawn from that influence of the spaghetti western. And I'm so excited about that, because this is the standout track on the record for me.
Oh, I think unquestionably. I think anybody who listens to this track and doesn't choose Sam Cherry, and anybody who listens to this album and doesn't say Sam Cherry's Last Shot stands out, whether you like it or not, whether it's for you or not, if you listen to this album and you don't think Sam Cherry's Last Shot stands out to me, I've got something to say about it, I don't believe that you've listened to the record.
Right. Like it's such a monumental piece, just smack dab in the middle of the record. There was a video for this one.
There was, and it was very similar, I thought, to the other music videos on this album, in the sense that it had footage of the band and background, but it was mostly the background. It was, or I'm sorry, not footage of the band, psychedelic overlays.
Right.
And the background footage of the West. My apologies.
Yeah, it seemed like it was probably taken from some public domain movie about the Wild West that they just took some images from and overlaid them in a way that they kind of tracked with the lyrics. Not really, but kind of tracked with the lyrics.
Yeah, I still, as much as this song is anti-colonial, I still don't know that how much I trust a group of Australians to be appropriately culturally sensitive about Native American issues in the U.S. In the U.S. I mean, I felt like that was a little silly to finish that sentence that way when I said Native American, but I had to finish it somehow.
Yeah, you have to dismount somehow.
Of course, Australia has their own history with the white settlers and the treatment of the Australian Indigenous people. And Lord knows I am not Indigenous to the United States, and I am not as familiar as I ought to be with the way to appropriately handle these kinds of discussions. But I also am not totally sure how much I trust the Aussies to get this exactly right.
I think they did a decent enough job. They didn't say anything original really, except for that last paragraph, and that was more than fair.
It is certainly an aggressive statement, and I was really happy to hear it.
Yeah.
And then we get to High Hopes Low.
Laser sounds! It opens with big laser sounds at the beginning, and it feels like gunshots, and it's rad as hell coming off the Western song. It just feels like the coolest transition in the world.
Oh my god, I totally disagree.
Oh, it's the coolest transition in the world, and it's got this great bitchin' guitar riff at the beginning. Oh, we're in a real Western now.
Oh, I cannot disagree more. High Hopes Low, like, I think that the title of this track completely represents how I feel about it, is that wow. I had such high hopes at this point in the album coming off of Sam Cherry, and oof, I didn't like this one. This was my weakest. This was the weakest track on the album for me.
There's even a bitchin' harmonica solo.
I liked the harmonica solo. You know I liked the harmonica solo.
So you're not going to go seek out the OC's Grease 2? No. Which apparently this song, I don't know if it was officially inspired by Grease 2, but fans draw the similarities.
And apparently they have alluded to that on their own set lists in the past. I mean, I should listen to it because it's appropriate for me as somebody with a King Gizzard podcast to do my due diligence, to do all of this research. But no, I didn't like this one. First of all, I will say I've never cared for that particular kind of sound. That laser sound. The really high resonance. It's from a drum patch from the Casio SK5 sampling keyboard.
Yeah, it is.
And like every time when I'm trying to make music that I end up with a sound like that, I work to undo it. I work to make sure that I lower my resonance, and I sometimes have to like smooth out the attack of the sound. I don't like that sound.
Oh, I disagree so strongly.
And it doesn't sound like gunshots to me. It sounds like lasers. And lasers don't belong in the Old West.
Sure they do.
No.
They do.
No. What stupid movie are you telling me had lasers in the Old West?
I don't know. Probably Doctor Who.
Okay. Probably Doctor Who.
I haven't watched Doctor Who, but I have to assume.
Yeah, I'm sure that probably in somewhere in the 60 years of Doctor Who.
So on Genius, they mentioned about this song that it was recorded in 2 separate sessions, like one that was super hi-fi and one that was super lo-fi. And so they spliced it together from both sessions, and they like... It has this really cool thing where it switches between the two, and it sounds really weird in the headphones.
And the hi-fi version was panned wide, and the crunchier version was panned center.
Yeah, and you can like really hear that. It's fun.
Once again, you really do need to listen to King Gizzard on good stereo headphones if you want the experience that they're going for. But I'll tell you what. This time, it wasn't exciting to me to have that experience. This time, it was distracting.
Interesting.
I didn't like High Hopes Low. I liked the harmonica solo. I really liked the harmonica solo, but that was the saving grace for me.
See, this felt like a big production swing for me, and I respect a big production swing.
I respect a big production swing. I loved the production choices on 12 Bar Bruise and how they used production to make the sound of the song what they wanted it to be. But High Hopes Low, whatever they tried, it worked for you. It was a dud for me.
Okay. Cutthroat Boogie, what did you think of this one?
Liked Cutthroat Boogie, of course.
So this one was...
I mean, the harmonica was back with a vengeance.
And of course it was. It was co-written by Ambi.
And we have, for the first time, somebody other than Stu McKenzie doing lead vocals. We have Ambi doing lead vocals.
And I understand that we're going to get a lot more of various people trading off vocal duties in the future, and I'm really excited for that. But it makes sense that Ambi is singing this one because it's a true life story about something that happened to him.
When Ambi was 16, he went to a party and somebody, for a goof, put a cut bottle against his neck, and he leaned into it accidentally, and blood started spurting everywhere.
Yay! So, and that was all confirmed via comments on YouTube by the Murlocs, which is a project that I believe Ambi is involved with.
Yes, that's right.
Ambi fronts even.
Yes. I really liked Cutthroat Boogie. I really liked having the different singer. I really liked hearing Ambi tell his own story. I liked that he was taking inspiration, apparently, from some of his own dad's music, from Broderick Smith's music. So that was cool to see Broderick Smith not just narrating for Sam Cherry, but also inspiring the music for Cutthroat Boogie.
I think the
really
biggest thing,
loved the harmonica. Obviously, I loved the harmonica.
the biggest thing I liked about this song is that it's the first time, excluding Sam Cherry, it's the first time we've had a full set of lyrics that tells a cohesive, coherent story from start to finish.
Absolutely. And I love a story song.
Story songs are great.
You and I have...
Another New World
Yes.
obviously by Josh Ritter, covered by Punch Brothers, is one of the best story songs ever written.
Yes, and the two of us have bonded over this particular song many times. It's one of our favorites. I almost chose a middle name from that song. I love a story song, and I love now that we have had a story song.
Yeah, it's great.
And yes, it's a true story, unlike many a story song out there, but any story song worth its salt really ought to be inspired by real feelings. And this was just so cool. And once again, they're doing something cool with panning. Did you catch it?
I probably did while I was listening, but I didn't make any notes of it, really. Yes, I did.
The harmonica and the vocals are panned fully right, and the rhythm guitar and the bass are panned fully left.
Yes, I did notice that.
And it's unusual. But unlike in High Hopes Low, where I thought it was distracting and off-putting,
yeah,
here I thought, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But do not listen to this with only one earbud. You will miss most of the song.
Yeah.
Certainly don't only listen to it in the left ear, because then you're not going to get the harmonica solo or the vocals, and those are the coolest parts of this song.
I mean, I think that we could pretty safely call this song a bloody ripper.
It is a bloody ripper.
And it turns out Bloody Ripper is our next song. Let's talk about that one. This one has a really cool feature at the end of it that was really the only thing I noted that I wanted to talk about, besides the fact that it feels a little Beatlesy. Did you get that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the most radio-friendly pop music thing they've done to date.
Yeah.
Unquestionably, this is a song that could be playing on Top 40 radio. It is a pop song through and through. Honestly, I liked it. It still had King Gizzard vibes to it, but it was a pop song.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I found it one of the more boring songs on the record, personally.
That makes sense.
But I liked how it ended. Did you take note of that?
I did, yes.
So at the very end of the song, it slowly speeds up and it increases its pitch, which I thought was just delightful.
Yeah, that was really cool. It's definitely an interesting technique to use in production. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, just like when you spin a record on a record player faster, you're going to get that higher pitch. They don't go all the way chipmunky with it, but you get a little bit of an off-kilter feel as it gets just slightly faster and slightly higher, and you notice something is happening. But if you're not paying too close attention, you're not going to be able to tell what exactly is happening.
Right. And a couple tracks later on Sea of Trees, there was a note on Genius talking about the fact that the tape machine that they were using ran out of tape. And I think that speaks to the way that Bloody Ripper was probably recorded as well, and how they got that effect at the end, which is, I think they were using a tape machine and they just sped the fucker up.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, it's cool to know that they're recording to tape. Like, that's genuinely cool.
Absolutely. But there are some lyrics on Bloody Ripper that I think you'll appreciate. Bloody Ripper has the lyrics, "All I want to do, sink my teeth in you. You already told me to. You said it's all right." And if those aren't Noel-coded lyrics, I don't know what are.
I'm constantly sinking my teeth into people. It's great. It's fun. If you know a trans girl who doesn't sink her teeth into people...
You don't know a trans girl.
Right. It's
Noel's
just
got some
par
dog
for
in
the
her.
course.
Noel's got some dog in her.
And we were officially saying I have hyena in me at this point.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that hyenas bite.
Hyenas definitely bite.
That's fair. We have more Australian slang, at least I'm pretty sure we have more Australian slang. The song refers to a Vecchi bottle.
Yeah.
And I looked that up. Urban Dictionary does not have an entry for a Vecchi bottle. Best I can figure it out, because when I Google this term, all that comes up is the lyrics for this song.
Vecchi was a brand.
As far as I can tell, it's a bottle of Victoria Bitter beer.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest beer in Australia. And yet, when I look at Vecchi, all I get is specifically references to this song. So I don't think it's common slang for a bottle of Victoria Bitter.
Interesting.
So yet again, we are stuck with the fact that you are listening to a couple of Americans talk about Australians making music, and
we are underinformed.
I've never been to Australia. I am sure that it would be great to go someday, but y'all talk weird.
For our series finale, we should just go to Melbourne and watch King Giz play. Like that'd be a great series finale. I'll bring a Zoom recorder with us. We can like record on the no, it's not record on the plane. That's
really
bad
rude
for
to
everyone.
Everybody else around us.
That's bad for everyone.
Yeah.
We can record in the Alaska Premier Lounge that we absolutely will
what
have
am I
access
made of
to.
money?
But yeah, there was a video for this one. It's
This one wasn't an interesting video.
Yeah, it's just a performance video with some members wearing masks. Like it's just
like Lucha
light.
Libre masks.
It's just light and colors. There's nothing super special.
I am curious why Lucha Libre masks, because it didn't really fit the vibe. But you know what? I didn't get to see Dipper the dog, and so I would have rather seen Dipper the dog.
Yeah, that's an F-. Sorry, guys. Bring back the dog.
Bring back the dog. That's probably actually a horrible thing to say, because this album was released long enough ago that I just have to assume that Dipper's probably no longer with us.
See, why do you have to bring that up? Why do you got to bring us down? We are 57 minutes in. We need to keep the energy up. We've got the rest of the record to go. We don't want people tuning out just because we're at an hour, and you're encouraging that by bringing us down.
Well, you should have checked Did the Dog Die for this podcast.
Uh-oh, I called Mom.
Have you ever gotten so high?
That's so hard for me to say. I want to say mom so bad, but it's I called mum.
Have you ever gotten so high that you've called your parents in a fit of anxiety?
I don't know the last time I called my parents for any reason.
I have never gotten so high and thought, oh my God, I'm so anxious. You know what I need? I need to call my mother.
Well, in your case, you do have a Jewish mother.
My mother has consumed marijuana.
Sure.
My mother likes to be able to sleep. And the only way that my mother can sleep is if she takes an edible.
Many, many such cases.
Lucas Harwood, I think, has a different relationship with his mother than you or I have.
And Lucas is their bassist?
Yes, I think that's right. I should double check that.
I have it in my notes that he's the bassist, so I definitely checked that.
He is the bassist. Yes, that is correct. I promise you, we will learn the names of all of the people in this band. I'm trying to learn like one name each album, and I'll get there before long, but I do not have a good memory for names.
So Lucas Harwood.
Lucas Harwood apparently got really stoned at a festival, and wound up with severe anxiety, ended up in the medical tent at this festival, and called his mother.
I bought a funny blob. I put it in my gob. I had anxiety. I couldn't help myself but call Mum.
And the rest of the band thought this was funny, because it is funny to call your mother when you're way too high.
Yeah.
I've seen TikToks where the entire premise of the TikTok is let's get stoned and call my mom. Which that sounds like hell. I will duck the calls of my family members if I'm too high. And hey, mom, if you've ever called me and wondered why I didn't pick up, there's a decent chance that I was stoned. So
I really like
this is how you know.
I really like the distortion in the vocals on this one. I love the rapid fire mum 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 section that happens right before the harmonica solo. Of course there's a harmonica solo.
And I can't get enough of the harmonica. And it's a 12-bar blues.
I was going to say, there's something really notable about this track.
Oh my God, it's a 12-bar blues. It made me so happy. The first time I heard this record, of course, I was still riding the disappointment of 12-bar Bruise not being a 12-bar blues. So at least I finally got to I called Mum, and oh my God, the release, it was orgasmic. I don't
think
blues.
That's the right word. If you want a song with big sing-along parts, this is your chance on this record. I Called Mum has your big sing-along hours in it.
Yeah, you either need that or Bloody Ripper because that was our top 40 pop song. And yeah, I'll tell you what, you're not going to be singing along to Sam Cherry's Last Shot.
And then
We get Sea of Trees.
which I would call the bummer on the record if it weren't for Sam Cherry's Last Shot.
We have too many songs about suicide on this album, and we might need to put a trigger warning at the top of the episode.
So the big thing about this one is that the lyrics are kind of wrong some places, including on official releases.
Yeah, they changed the lyrics to this song after it was released.
But it does sound like the correct lyric because it was originally when you're feeling suicidal, sometimes you have just got to
End it.
That's the new one.
No.
Yeah, that's the new one.
End it is the original.
No, and it's the new one.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's the opposite of what I have in my notes.
Then you wrote it wrong in your notes. End it was the original lyric. They changed it to unfold to make it less dark.
Well, that's fucked up.
So, what's going on? Sea of Trees is a calque, a direct translation of the name of a forest in Japan called Aokigahara. And Aokigahara is a forest near Mount Fuji that is apparently known for businessmen from Tokyo to go into the woods and kill themselves. Yeah, it's a dark song. And the band originally wanted to name themselves Sea of Trees after Aokigahara.
Which would have been badass. Like, that's a good name.
Yeah, but I think that I like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I think that's a very notable name for them. I'm glad that they went with it. I don't know. I thought that when I listened to this music, I definitely heard the line "End It," but Apple Music used the lyrics.
Oh, you absolutely
Unfold.
hear "End It." I wonder if they changed that for future live performances.
Yeah, I am curious. I am really curious about this song. I'm guessing they're probably not performing this all too often. They have performed this song
On average, once every 33 shows.
They performed it 26 times, most recently in Bulgaria in June of this year. So we actually do have it coming up 4 times in our live shows. They've released live shows with this song on it 4 times. So we will hear what they do in the future.
Yeah, so make a mental note. We'll loop back to that. If you have a copy of the record and you can tell us when that copy was published
And what your
liner notes say, I would really appreciate that. Please write in. We're on Bluesky. The Bluesky links are in the podcast description. Please reach out.
Yeah. I really don't have much about this song to talk about other than the lyrics and the story of them. I thought the guitar at the start was pretty exciting, but mostly I was just focused on the darkness, the story, the lyrics. And honestly, I don't even think that the lyrics are particularly all that good. Among the songs on this album, I think that we're back a little bit more in the realm of the overly repetitious that we'd seen on the EPs.
Sure.
But mostly it's just dark.
Yeah, which is great because then we get to move into the next song on the record, which was featured in AFL Live 2 on the PS3. Footy Footy.
Footy Footy.
Footy Footy.
Goddamn Australians.
Fucking Australians.
This
was co-written with their guitarist, Joey Walker.
This is about as silly as not just King Gizzard could get, but really is about as silly as any band could get. They're just having they're just getting a little silly with it.
Yeah, so can you describe lyrically what this song is?
Lyrically, this song is Joey Walker just listing AFL, Australian Football League players and teams that he likes. And otherwise, there are a couple of lyrics that are just sort of about the experience of watching Aussie rules football. And I cannot imagine any American band, no matter how silly they are, writing a song like this about the NFL.
I think that would be really funny.
I think it would be really funny to
I think it would be super controversial.
I think it would be really funny to hear a band make a song where they just go, Cleveland Browns, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Seattle Seahawks. That would be weird.
Russell Wilson.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Noel is unfortunately a Bears fan. And
it's worked out really well for me.
And I am unfortunately a Cleveland Browns fan. It's worked out really well for me. Yeah. Weird song.
It feels like a love song to footy, but then it ends with the lyric, I hate what this game has become. So I really don't know what to make of it at all.
Stu McKenzie has said in interviews that he's not really a big footy fan, but apparently he also has spent a long period of his childhood playing Aussie rules football. And it seems mostly like that he said that he didn't like it kind of in jest. Not super clear. I have a favorite line. I have a favorite lyric from this song, which is, I'm going to have a full strength beer, you girl. And you know what? When we're done with this episode, Noel, I'm going to go have a full strength beer, you girl.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed that this song doesn't show up on any of the live records that we're going to get to. It's only been performed 8 times, and it's not going to be on any live records, which is such a fucking bummer because I want to hear the audience reaction to this. I want to hear how an audience goes ham for this song because it's such a fun song. The chorus
so
is
silly.
genuinely catchy and fun. It's a delight to listen to.
I mean, I love sports. I truly love sports. I would probably watch Australian football if it weren't for the fact that I live
in the wrong time
zone.
The
absolute worst time zone to watch Australian rules football.
God, everybody on Reddit was complaining about the fucking Melbourne show last night because they're like, oh, I have to stay up until 1 o'clock I have to stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to stay up grow up. You're the ones who decided to be a fan of an Australian band. Grow the fuck up.
And I love watching cricket, and I always tell people if you want to get into cricket, you should support Windies, you should support the West Indies. And the only reason for that is because they play in the best time zone for Americans. But I don't follow Windies. I follow Sri Lanka because I hate myself. So I'm used to watching sports at stupid fucking hours. And even still, the only American I know that follows Australian rules football is somebody who got into it when there were no American sports to watch at the early stages of the pandemic in 2020.
Right.
This is just not a sport that has any cachet in the US. I've never watched it. I know that there's a term, spectacular mark, which sounds less like a sports term and more like what I would call somebody I'm about to rob.
No, Spectacular Mark was this kid I knew in high school.
Oh, okay. Did he pull rabbits out of his hat?
Yeah. That's one way to describe it.
It feels really weird to end this podcast on footy.
We're not ending this podcast on footy. We're introducing a new segment.
That's right. We have talked about this.
So this week, we're done with the record now. If you were only here to listen to us talk about the record, we're done. You can turn us off. But we're going to have some fun here. And we're going to talk about the music that we've been listening to outside of King Gizzard this week. So Yael, can you start and tell me a little bit about what you've been listening to and what you like about it?
Yes. Okay. So
or hate about it. I'm not assuming that you love everything you listen to.
So I've had some trouble as we've been listening to King Gizzard for this podcast. And that trouble is that my algorithms are responding really quickly to all of the King Gizzard content that I'm listening to and watching. And so when Apple Music is giving me new music to listen to, it's trying to give me Petrodraconic Apocalypse. It's trying to give me Oddments. It's trying to give me all of this King Gizzard music that I can't listen to yet and will eventually. But it has also started giving me the Murlocs, and it's also started giving me all of these bands that are either related to King Gizzard or were inspired by King Gizzard or just have similar sound to King Gizzard. And lately, it's been feeding me Doom Gong. And
that's
I'll tell you,
DOOM space GONG. Doom Gong.
Doom Gong. And so we put on Doom Gong 3, their most, I'm sorry, not Doom Gong 3, Doom Gong's third album, Mega Gong.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, Mega Gong fucks. Mega Gong is an album. Okay, so Doomgong is a group of like music school guys, all like complete fucking dorks, and they are making music that they call denim psych, which is a mix of psychedelic rock and some like jazz fusion and some of like 3 or 4 other different genres. And it's high energy and a little bit jazzy, very psychedelic. Megagong had a little bit more like hardcore vibes to it. The other albums that they put out are a little
more restrained,
a little bit more restrained. But I'll tell you what, all 3 albums are going on my rotation.
This third album, Megagong, it's so big and noisy and delicious.
It's so good. And we were sitting there listening to it that first time we heard it, that first time we put it on, and we went, half of this was made exactly for me, and half of it was made exactly for Noel. And we were just fucking vibing, and we were enjoying it. Even the stuff that was heavier and more Noel's speed, I loved. Even the stuff that was jazzier and more my speed. Not that Noel dislikes jazz. Noel likes jazz, but not as much as I do.
To a degree.
To a degree. Was still really worked for Noel. I've been trying to get everybody that I hang out with to listen to Doomgong, and everybody who's put it on has been like, yeah, this fucking rips.
And a surprising amount of people have put it on.
Right. And
I'm pretty sure we've gotten more people to listen to Doomgong than we have our podcast.
Yeah, and that's pretty fun, but they should listen to our podcast. So, Noel, what have you been listening to this week?
So I've been listening to 2 things this week. The first is Joker's Republic's new album, The Hand You've Been Dealt. If you don't know Joker's Republic, I'm not surprised. They are a very tiny pop punk and ska band. They just put out, I believe this is their second LP, The Hand You've Been Dealt. It's just pop punk rippers all the way through. Occasionally it dips down into ska and gives you just these giant horn lines, the upstrokes, the like everything that you want from ska is present on this record, but it's really socially justice forward.
So it's like ska.
They explicitly shout out trans rights on the record, which makes me happy.
Hell yeah. Trans rights.
It's just a fun little record. The other one I've been listening to is Black Braid 3, which is the 3rd record from Black Braid, who are a indigenous black metal band with a lot of like thrash metal influence. And this is one where I've followed this project for a while. It's mostly one dude. And every album they get better and better until this new one that it's just this shining piece of production that sounds gorgeous all the way through. It's mixed beautifully. It's a black metal record that doesn't feel like a black metal record and that it's approachable. It's certainly more friendly to generic metal audiences than other black metal would be. And I really like it for that. It's full of acoustic guitar parts. It's got like native wind instruments in it, native flutes. It's really, really cool. And I can't recommend it.
It's the closest thing I've ever, or it's the black metal that has come closest to me being able to tolerate of anything I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I just can't recommend it enough. It's so good. And that's what I've been listening to this week.
So on our next episode,
yes,
we will be listening to the 2013 studio album, Eyes Like the Sky.
Eyes Like the Sky.
Eyes Like the Sky is a record that Wikipedia lists as garage rock and spaghetti western. So I'm real excited for that after Sam Cherry's last shot. We'll be releasing that in hopefully 2 weeks, so stay tuned.
Yep, see you next time.